Beneath the internet, lies a shadow world, a place of hidden markets, secret forums, and stories too disturbing to believe. Some say the stories are rumors, others swear it's real. But once you enter, it's hard to escape. From vanishing chat rooms to live stream nightmares, these are the tales that keep investigators awake at night. Welcome to the dark web, where every click could be your last. Chapter 1: The Missing Girlfriend Chat Room Mystery. It's after midnight. Three friends crowd around a laptop, the only light in the room coming from the glow of the screen. They aren't supposed to be here, not on this part of the internet. Scrolling through broken onion links, they stumble into a forgotten chat room. The layout is crude, like something out of the early 2000s. Just a black background, a list of inactive usernames, silence. For 10 minutes, nothing moves. No replies, no updates, just dead code. They're about to close the window when a line appears. "Have you seen Alice?" All three freeze. Alice, their friend who vanished 6 months ago. No note, no trail, just gone. At first they think it's a coincidence, a cruel prank. But the stranger keeps typing, details about Alice only they could know. The color of her backpack, the nickname she hated, the name of the bar they all used to sneak into. One of the friends types back, hands shaking. "Who are you? Where is she?" The response is instant. "Meet me, or you'll never see her again." Then, a set of coordinates, a time, midnight. The room goes silent. The only sound is the whir of the laptop fan. One friend says it has to be fake. Another insists they call the police. The third stares at the coordinates, just 20 miles away. What if it's real? What if Alice is alive? They argue until the clock runs down. Midnight passes. They don't go. And then, just as suddenly as it appeared, the chat room collapses. The page refreshes itself into a blank screen. The thread is gone. The next morning, they try to log back in. Nothing. The site has vanished. Not archived, not cached. Deleted. But something else happens. That night, one of them wakes to a sound outside the window. A scraping. He looks out. No one is there. But on the glass, written in something smeared in dark, are 4 words. "Why didn't you come?" This is where the trail turns terrifying. When investigators later tried to find the chat room, they couldn't. Every record of that site had been wiped. No backups, no trace, as if it had never existed. The three friends stopped talking about Alice after that. Some say they drifted apart. Others claim one of them tried to go back, to find the chat room again, and disappeared themselves. The story never made it into police reports. No official case file exists. But in the corners of the internet, the screenshots still circulate. A single question on a dark screen. Have you seen Alice? Chapter 2: Get Gnomed, the Harassment Network. It starts as a joke. A late-night scroll through the dark web leads a curious user to a site with a ridiculous name, Get Gnomed. The homepage is simple. Cartoon graphics of smiling garden gnomes and a message. Want to mess with someone? Send them a gnome. The instructions are clear. Pay in Bitcoin, enter an address. Within days, a garden gnome will arrive on the victim's doorstep. At first, it seems harmless, silly. A prank service like ordering pizzas to a neighbor's house. But for one man in Oregon, it doesn't stop at one. The first gnome appears on his porch. 2 days later, another arrives, then another. By the end of the week, there are 6. At first, he laughs, thinks a friend is behind it. But as the weeks pass, the numbers grow. Dozens fill his lawn, his porch, even his windowsills. Every time he throws them away, new ones appear. Then the deliveries change. One morning, he wakes to find gnomes lined up in his driveway, perfectly spaced, all facing the front door, watching. Neighbors say they never saw a delivery truck. No one walking with boxes. The figures simply appeared. Online, others report the same thing. Stories on Reddit describe lawns crowded with hundreds of gnomes, each delivered anonymously. Some claim the gnomes weren't just left outside. They were inside locked homes. Living rooms, bedrooms, even bathrooms, packed with silent ceramic figures. One post described a man who returned home to find his bed covered. Gnomes surrounding the mattress, shoulder to shoulder, staring at him. The locks were untouched. The alarm never went off. How did they get in? Attempts to report the site fail. Law enforcement can't track its servers. Every time a new domain is flagged, it reappears under another onion address. Same layout, same service. It's as if someone wants it to survive, and the deliveries keep escalating. A woman in Texas described waking up at 3 a.m. to the sound of shattering glass. She ran to her kitchen and found a single gnome on the floor, surrounded by broken window. No footprints outside, no sign of entry, just the gnome, its face cracked, its painted grin twisted into something grotesque. She moved 2 weeks later. The site itself seems to thrive on persistence. Victims describe the harassment not stopping until they break, until they move, or leave, or disappear. And sometimes the gnomes follow. One man posted a final update before deleting his account. After moving across the country, a single box waited at his new address. Inside, another gnome. No return label, no tracking number, just a note taped to its base. We always find you. Chapter 3, Bedbugs for Hire. The first rumor appears on a hidden forum, a thread with a strange title, BB4H, Bedbugs for Hire. At first, users think it's a joke, but the post details a service that feels too specific to be satire. We breed pesticide-resistant bedbugs. You choose the target. We infest their home, office, or property. For a price, we also offer extermination. No one else can kill them but us. It reads like a startup pitch, except this startup is selling misery. A leaked screenshot shows packages, silver tier, basic infestation, 1 apartment. Gold, multi-unit spread, guaranteed survival for months. Platinum, career-ending exposure, infestations in offices, hotels, even hospitals. The payment is crypto. The victims are anonymous, the promises chilling. Most people laugh it off until the first reports surface. In New Jersey, tenants in a high-rise complain of bites that never heal. Exterminators try everything: fumigation, freezing, chemical sprays. Nothing works. The bugs return within days. Landlords spend thousands. Residents flee. Weeks later, a forum update appears under the Bedbugs for Hire thread. Field test 7 complete. Client satisfied. Then Chicago, 2019. A hospital closes 2 wards after an outbreak. Patients covered in welts. Staff reporting insects crawling out of electrical outlets. Pest control companies admit defeat. News outlets cover it briefly. Then the story disappears. But in the forums, another update is logged. Hospital trial confirmed, high success rate. The entries are cold, clinical, like lab notes. A whistleblower later leaks what looks like a client list. Corporations, landlords, insurance groups, anonymous handles connected to real-world disputes. It paints a sinister picture, not pranksters, but businesses using infestations as leverage. One story stands out. A Chicago law firm finds its office overrun. Every file cabinet, every chair, even the coffee machine, infested. Months later, they quietly settle a multi-million-dollar case. Opposing counsel, according to the leak, had ordered the platinum package. The timing lines up, too perfectly. For the victims, the psychological toll is worse than the bites. Bedbugs are invisible during the day, attacking only when you sleep. Victims describe insomnia, paranoia, mental breakdowns. One woman confessed she kept dousing herself in alcohol every night, convinced it was the only thing keeping her safe. The fear is constant, the cost devastating. And somewhere in the dark web, someone profits. But the most chilling report comes from a man in Florida. After weeks of battling an infestation he couldn't control, he woke one night to a scratching sound. He pulled back his blanket and saw the bedbugs pouring out in waves. Dozens, hundreds, crawling over his arms, his chest, his face. He screamed. Neighbors heard it. By the time they forced open the door, he was unconscious. Doctors later confirmed severe anemia from blood loss. The next day, another forum update appeared. Test subject exceeded limits. Extermination service declined. Chapter 4, Red Rooms, the ultimate urban legend. The rumors spread like wildfire in 2010. Somewhere hidden deep in the dark web, there were live streams you could buy into. Not gaming, not gambling, something far worse. They called them red rooms. The idea was simple and sickening. For a price in Bitcoin, you could watch a live torture session, pay more, and you could choose what happened next. Every cruel act decided by the highest bidder. Most wrote it off as impossible. The internet wasn't fast enough to stream in real time. Security would be impossible. Police and cyber experts called it an urban legend. But then, strange things began to surface. A teenager in Germany claimed to have stumbled onto a hidden page. He described a countdown timer and a chat box where users typed in bids. He logged out before it reached 0. 2 weeks later, he was found dead in what police ruled a suicide. His hard drive was missing. In Poland, a man appeared on underground forums claiming he had survived a red room. He described waking up in a warehouse, cameras bolted to the walls, masked operators moving silently behind them. He said the only reason he escaped was because the power went out midstream. For days, his story spread online. Then the posts were wiped, his account deleted. Within a week, he vanished from his town. His neighbors said he packed no bags, left no forwarding address. He was just gone. And yet, copies of his testimony still circulate. The description always matches. A dark room, a single victim, an audience you can't see but can feel watching. And a moderator, typing in real time, reading out instructions sent by faceless bidders. Even investigators admit there's a kernel of truth. Several raids on dark web servers have uncovered encrypted chat logs with references to shows and clients. But no videos, no survivors willing or able to testify. Still, the stories keep piling up. In 2016, a journalist in France went undercover following whispers of a Red Room auction. He received an email with a link, an invitation-only event. He clicked. The page loaded a dark screen with a single sentence. "You are not supposed to be here." The connection cut instantly. Hours later, his apartment was broken into, his laptop stolen. He never wrote about the story again. The myth refuses to die because every time it looks fake, something real slips through. A countdown clock, a screenshot of a masked figure, a transcript of a bidding war. And the more governments deny their existence, the more the internet wonders. If red rooms are fake, why do agencies like Interpol and the FBI keep investigating them in secret? One final story stands out. A hacker in Ukraine claims he found a red room stream by accident. He watched less than a minute before slamming his laptop shut. But as he told the story later, he paused. His face went pale. "They knew I was there," he whispered. When asked what he meant, he replied, "The chat stopped, and the operator typed my real name." Chapter 5. Tapeworm Diet Pills. The ad looks almost ridiculous at first. On a hidden forum among listings for fake passports and hacked credit cards, there's a new product. Guaranteed weight loss, 10 pounds in 10 days. The description is short. Capsules. Cheap. 100% natural. But scroll further, and the truth slips out. Each pill contains a live tapeworm egg. The logic is horrifyingly simple. Swallow the egg. The parasite grows inside you, feeding on what you eat. You lose weight without dieting. A friend in your gut, one ad calls it. It sounds like a dark joke until the first real case surfaces. A 21-year-old woman, known only as TE, is rushed to the hospital after collapsing at work. Doctors find cysts throughout her body. Her brain scan shows lesions. The culprit, tapeworm larvae, migrating outside her digestive system and burrowing into her organs. She survives, but barely. More stories follow. A college student in Florida buys a bottle, desperate to shed weight before spring break. He brags about it online, even posts selfies showing rapid weight loss. 2 months later, his roommate finds him convulsing on the bathroom floor, eyes rolled back. By the time paramedics arrive, it's too late. The sellers, meanwhile, move like shadows. Every time a marketplace is shut down, they reopen under a new name. Paraslim, WormFit, BioLean. The branding changes, but the product is always the same. A glass vial of capsules, sealed in black tape, shipped from nowhere traceable. What terrifies investigators isn't just the pills, it's the sense of deliberate design. Doctors treating victims notice the worms are unusually resilient, surviving treatments that normally kill them. Some parasites seem engineered, almost bred for durability. One doctor who spoke anonymously claimed the eggs looked altered, smaller, harder to detect, harder to kill. "This isn't farm animal stuff," he said. "This is a lab strain." And that leads to the darkest reports. A leaked message, allegedly from a seller's inbox, describes new versions in testing. Strains that don't just live in the gut, but spread faster, harder, more aggressively. Parasites designed not for weight loss, but for control. The idea is chilling. Pills not to make you thin, but to make you sick. A product that doubles as a weapon. And then there's the case of the nurse in Mexico. She noticed her hospital receiving an unusual wave of patients. All young women, all with sudden seizures, all showing parasites in brain scans. She went public online, warning about the tapeworm pills. Within a week, her posts were deleted, her account locked. She hasn't been heard from since. For those who believe the pills are just a scam, these stories are dismissed as exaggeration. But the victims are real, the scans are real, and the capsules keep shipping. One detail repeats across the survivors. They all describe the same nightmare. Waking in the dark, feeling something moving inside them, crawling, biting, eating, and always the same fear. That even after treatment, even after surgery, something is still alive, growing, waiting. Chapter 6. My name is Darius. It starts with a post on Reddit. The username is simple, Darius1987. The title of the thread, "I think I just saw a murder online." At first, people think it's a hoax, another creepypasta, but the details pull readers in. Darius claims he found a hidden link while browsing the dark web. It led to a video player. No labels, no title. Just a live feed of a girl tied to a chair. She was crying, gagged, blood already on her face. In the corner of the screen, a chat box scrolled with usernames and bids. People were paying in Bitcoin to decide what happened next. Darius swore it was real. He panicked and slammed his laptop shut, but then his screen went black. When it flickered back to life, a single message was typed across the center. "Hello, Darius." He hadn't entered his name. He hadn't logged into anything. The admin knew who he was. In the Reddit thread, he explained that within an hour, his phone buzzed with unknown calls. His email was breached, and outside his apartment, he heard footsteps lingering in the hall long after midnight. Skeptics flooded the comments, calling it fake. But then he posted again, this time with screenshots, the video feed, the chat box. The words "Hello, Darius" burned across the frame. 2 days later, his account went silent. Another user, claiming to be his roommate, appeared in the thread. He wrote that Darius had stopped sleeping, terrified of being watched. He covered his laptop camera with tape. He checked the locks every 10 minutes. Then one night, the roommate came home to find the door wide open. Lights off. TV still on. Darius was gone. The police opened a missing persons case, but nothing came of it. His posts were deleted. Screenshots wiped. The original thread locked. For months, silence. Until a new account appeared. The username u/Darius returns. The first comment was short, "They're watching me." The account posted only once more, linking to an image of a dimly lit room. In the center, a chair, empty, a camera mounted above it, pointing down. The caption, "My turn." Then the account was banned. People who saved the image swear there was more. Reflections in the corner, shadows that weren't supposed to be there. Some claim you can see a figure standing just outside the frame, watching. To this day, no one knows what happened to Darius. Was he a scammer who went too far? A victim who stumbled into something real? Or bait, his story designed to scare people away from searching too deep? All that remains are fragments, copies of screenshots that vanish as quickly as they appear. Dead links leading nowhere, and the memory of one man's final words before disappearing into the void. My name is Darius.